Here we go with Apuleius, Book 3 of the Golden Ass, or the Metamorphoses. Commodum, adverb, means just in reference to the time, so it's just happened. Phone, that means purple, comes from, I guess Carthage had purple things. Phalaris, these are like the trappings of a horse, maybe the reins and the bits and some fancy things. Aurora, this looks like a nominative, it's the capital letter, proper noun for the dawn. Personification of the dawn, and so dawn was Quatians. The shaking, the rosium, lacertium. So dawn was shaking the red arms, and in equibat means it was riding. They say that the sun's moving on a horse across the sky. You might want to say that's with these equidabat bits going on. Okay, so might be rosium caelum, even the sky, because these are both neuter nouns. So just as the sun basically is coming up, the dawn's coming up, shaking the its red arm of the sky, wearing these purple trappings, and me, that would be the guy in the story. So we have night was returning the day, and me, I've been revulsum, I've been plucked from a secure sleep. Quietes is rest and sleep. Aestus. This is like a flooding or a swelling, you might want to say. Invaded his animum. The animus is more of your heart and your soul. We don't usually think the mind's in the heart, but they did. In recording, so he's in the act of remembering. Vespertini means of the night before, or Vespers is the evening, and the Facinoris would be the crimes or deeds. So a big flood it's coming into his mind while he's remembering these horrible deeds of the night before. Deniqui can sometimes mean finally or again or next or something like that. With complicatus pedibus, so his feet are all folded up and his palms, palmulus, in alternate vicissitudes or of his digitorum of his fingers. So he's got his palms linked, it looks like, with his fingers in between each other, and his connexus means it's tied up in a knot, so his legs are folded up and his fingers and palms are intertwined above his knee, superganua. Thus, he is in his grabatum, or in sittings, means he's sitting upon. His grabatum, as we know, it's this cot, it's a low cot to the ground that he sleeps in. Cosim. This is an adverb, but usually means like an old person who's stooped over, but he's not an old person, so he's probably just he's crouched down or something. And I was phlebaming, I was weeping ubertim, abundantly. Yam, already the forum, that's where the law courts are as well as markets, and the judiciary, this is the court systems, and already he's imagining the sentence that he would follow on from these Facinoris of the night before. And Deniqui again, finally, probably means here because we're at the end of a sentence, he's full of imagining, imaginabundus, the executioner, who is the carnificam, he's the person who kills people. Now, Apuleius uses a lot of language, so I'll have a daily dictionary early on. Cosim, doubled up with old age, or squatting on his haunches in a crouched position. 2 or 3 citations of it. It's probably not that common. It's in the Im family. There's a lot of Tims, and there's 5 or 6 Sims. Back to the plot. And this means there's a question going on. Is quizquam, is there anyone doing something for me, mihi, who is so mitis, so mild, and so benevolus? This means he's got goodwill. Obtiget judex. So he's wondering if he's going to get a judge who will be mild and benevolent towards him. Who, with the cruor, that's the bloodstains and gores of a triple homicide, a triple catus, which is a slaughter, per litum, and so much the sanguine, the blood of so many citizens, deliberatum, this means it's smeared on him. Would he be poterit, able to pronounce me innocent? So he's hoping he's going to get a good judge. Henc illum gloriosum, so probably illum and gloriosum going together. So is this the glory for a indicates the future. But you can see from the bat here that's imperfect as well. So the peregrination, this means travelling abroad. So basically saying, is this the glory that'll be for me in store, which the Chaldeans are famous for prophecies, Diophanes, he predicted in book 2, this is book 3, obstinately or something you might want to say in English as well. Is this what's going to be in store for me? And we can see that's all quoted from there to there. Haec identitam. This is a adverb, means time and again or over and over again. Me with myself, replicans. It says replicating or going over and over again these same things. We have me as fortune. This would be his fate, his fortune. I've got a H there. That's a bit odd, but it's possible. It's one of the alternate spellings. So this is mean howling or wailing, ulululing and eohulabamming. So you're singing these over and having a bit of a sob maybe. Quatai 4, as the doors were shaking into them sometimes or from time to time, or that was happening, that the doors were shaking. Frequenti clamor, with a frequent shout. Per strepiting, that's another way of putting noises, of our door. So the door at the place he was at. 4A's can sometimes mean outside or at the doors, and the Yenua definitely is doors. So the doors were shaking and people were banging and making a bit of a clamour at the door. 2. Nec mora. Neither was the delay, even though we've had here now and then the doors were banging, but there wasn't much of a delay. Then with a magna interruption or a bursting, there's a great bit of a noise as well. The patefactus aedibus. The house was laid open, and with magistrates and the ministers of them, and a turba, a crowd of miscellaneous people, the whole cuncta was complete. The whole building was filled up, and statum qui. And immediately 2 lictors from the order of the magistratums intermissed their manus, they interlinked their hands with him, and they traheard me, they dragged me, sane, clearly, obviously, occupiant. So they've grabbed hold of him, grabbed his arms, and he was not resisting. Renitens probably means a struggle. There was no struggle. He sort of went along with them. Okay, well, occupiat means begin, so that also takes an infinitive, so they began to drag him. And ac dum primum, this probably means something like ac primum, so as soon as the point when we were in Stistamusting, we were standing in the Angiportum, which is the alleyway. Another adverb, stadium. Immediately, all the citizenry, or all of the city, effused out, sort of just means poured out into the public streets or wherever. Mira means something to wonder at, with its density, so it was a crowd and dance, and were in sequitur. That's singular. But it looks like all the people in the city came out and crowded together and were following us. Et quam. And although capite in terram, my head was towards the ground, that's even with the accusative. Imo, again, usually means to make something more precise. Sometimes it can be strengthening it, sometimes it can mean contrarily. So, with his head to the ground, actually more precisely to hell itself, inferos, it can mean the underworld or lower down. Iam dejecto, so the dejecto capite, so his head is dejected down to the ground. Maestus, it's describing him, he's a bit gloomy. In sideram, he's going forwards. Tamen, nevertheless, with an aspectu obliquato, means he's catching out the corner of his eyes or something like that. Usually means slant-wise. There's some sight that he saw. Conspicio shows he was conspicuing it. He saw it. Rem maxime admirationis. So there's a matter of extreme admiration or something that he saw out of the corner of his eye. Nam. 4. Inter so many thousands populi of people who were circumfluenting, who were flowing around, there was Nemo. There was no one. Prosum. Sometimes it means forwards, probably means absolutely here. It's one of its main functions as a word. So there was no one, absolutely, qui who was not in risu, was not laughing. Adorat means at hand or at present. Dirumperitor. So wasn't anyone who wasn't bursting their guts in laughter. Tandem. At last, per eratus platius omnibus, having wandered thoroughly through all the platias, the streets, and in the modum, and in the way of those who with their lustralibus piementus, so it looks like in a religious service when you kill an animal, we see the piementus bit there is, so it's piously, it's trying to expiate some sort of thing religiously. The threats, the menace of portents, portents are omens, so they're trying to placate some sort of threatening omens in this way. That's what the modum means, in the way of this. In the way of a hostis. Hostis are animals which are sacrificed. Circumforanus, around the forum. Expiant, so again that's got that religious way of expiating something. He was circumductus, he was led around, angulatum, in the sim families of adverbs, up and down every angle way, every angiportus, every alleyway, and ad stitu. Then I was standing at the forum at this tribunal, and we'll have to scroll a bit down here. Amqui, and now already with a sublimo suggestus, fourth declension, it's a platform, and sublime means high. So on a high platform, the magistratibus residinabentis. They were magistrates were all sitting down on a high platform, and now with the praecone, the herald, clamating, shouting in public. This is what he wants shouting for. He wants there to be silentium. He wants silence. Repente, suddenly, cuncti consona. Consonorus means it's all sounding together. So everyone with a voice was flagitating. They were demanding in a consonant voices, propter on account of the coitus of this gathering of the multitude, all coming together, of which the pressure was nimia was excessive, risk of it means danger from the density or from such a great multitude being all dense together. So now they're worried about safety. The judicium, this court which was being held, tantum usually means merely or something, would be redented. It would be carried on to the theatre. So it wasn't safe here on this high platform with the judges from the huge multitude, so they're now going to the theatre. Nec mora, neither was there a delay when the passim everywhere, the populace, this is a group of people, but it's described as a singular, they were procurrencing, usually the pro means forward, so the people were running forwards everywhere, and the cavia, these are the hollowed out bits of the theatre, I'm guessing, conceptum, these usually means a blockage or a wall or something, miraculously they had complevited, they had filled up these cavities very quickly, celerate with speed, and the additus even, the approaches even, and the tectum, omne, neuters have e, where the male and female have is. So on all the roof of this theatre, fartim, another Tim family adverb, was stipaverant. So they packed it up, and farta means it was stuffed. Pleriqui, the very many of the people were in plexide on the columns. They were like hugging them or something. And other people were dependuling. They were hanging like a pendulum or something that hangs down from statues, statuists, and nonnulli, and some even through the windows, the fenestras, and the lacunaria. These are like gaps. They were semi-conspicuous. Tarman, nevertheless, still or yet. Miro again, or the miraculously or something. Omnes, all of them with the studium, with the zeal of seeing, were neglectabanting. They were neglecting the danger of their safety, or the danger to their own safety. That's how mirrored they were in it. So, why is that thing there? Anyway, so then me, piss off, would you? Through the middle of the proscenium, the scene is the stage, pro must be the like anti-stage or the bit before it. So then me through the front of the stage, velout just as if I was a certain victim, which is an animal that gets slaughtered. Public ministerius, public servants, producunted me. They led me through this stage area as if I was a victim, and siston, and they stopped in, is that genitive or something, in the middle of the orchestra. And we have orchestras in English, so it's the same sort of word, and that's it for the day.